generations. And now, the power of two restores the one.
We got a bidet! Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. In today's video, we got a lot of stuff to cover from the gameplay deep dive that MLB the Show 25 showed off today. So they showed basically what they did is they took what they announced from, I think it was Tuesday, and then they deep dived into it. So on Tuesday, we learned a bit about ambush hitting. We learned about some of the things that are happening with the defense side of things. And then we also today got a bonus quality of life thing that they talked about. And honestly, I'm really excited to talk about that because I thought it was a really good addition. So first things first, let's talk about the hitting. So they talked about ambush hitting a little bit. Really what it was in the video, they showed how the difference can happen, but there really isn't much that you can show from that, in my opinion. So basically what we saw was Manny Ramirez having batting practice and then seeing how the ambush hitting worked. Remember, ambush hitting is you're picking a spot in the strike zone where, let's say, you want to guess that the pitch is going to be inside. If you're correct, then the vision uh, attribute increases, or if you're wrong, then it's going to decrease. And you can see that on your little cursor on the screen as well as it reacts to what you pick. So we saw that from hitting. The majority of this stuff was from fielding. And we got a bit more details about this, the like blue indicator for fielding, the yellow, and the green. So the order is blue, green, yellow as far as best to worst. And what they elaborated here with that is that if you have a diamond fielder, so if you, not necessarily a diamond player, but if the defense fielding side of their attributes is a diamond, then it's 100% chance that you will get the blue icons when fielding. If, and their other examples were if you had a silver 75 or a bronze 50, they showed that even if you're using those players for, like, if they have a bronze or silver in their defense, if you're using those players, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot achieve that like double blue fielding thing that they're showing off. It's just that the depending on your player's defensive ability, the probability of getting the blue, green, or yellow changes. It also depends on the hitter as well, supposedly. I didn't quite catch, even if they did cover it, how that affects things. But basically, they showed a like an infographic of, if you had these three different ones being the bronze, silver, and diamond, how that shakes out with the probability of those things happening. So I find that interesting. And one of the things that they said, and I also thought this, like, it was kind of like I thought it, they said it, and it happened at the same time. This is going to add a lot of diversity and uniqueness to lineups because you're going to have to wonder, do you want to emphasize on your defense and give up a little bit on your offense? Or are you going to pick players that are geared more towards their offense and maybe you're going to give it up a little bit on defense? There's going to be a lot of things to think about with this game. And honestly, that's probably a pretty good addition that they're doing because they've heard us that we want much more of a gradual increase in our card ratings throughout the year. And from what I remember, this year is going to be all about that. So we're going to have to look at the players early on and, really decide, do I want to have more of fielding be my strength, or do I want hitting to be my strength, or do I want a mix of both? Do I want a hardcore infield, but then, maybe a little bit more loose outfield or vice versa? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of things to consider. Part of me feels like, a good defense is what wins games. So, if I'm able to hold people to 1 or 2 runs and then hope that I score 2 or 3 while playing the game, well, then, that would fit right in with the diamonds all around on the defense. But I don't know. We're gonna have to see when we get there. I've also just kind of like off record of what we're talking about today. Part of me just wants to ride out a Detroit Tigers team because I'm just so hyped about this year and hoping for the best for those guys. So I'm really wondering, do I just make a big Tigers team and then just play that all the time? But I don't know. I hope they have captain cards that actually have live series type players. Last year, our Tigers got shafted a little bit, and every single one of them was a Legends player, so or flashback. So, all right, back to our topic. So we covered the diamond, like the rating probability thing that's going on with the fielding. So there's that. They also talked a bit more about the blue indicator when you're throwing the ball. So again, if you didn't catch this on Tuesday, the what we've had in the past is this throwing meter. You would try to line it up in the middle of like there's the green zone and then there was a zone in the middle that you were trying to aim for a better throw. They're getting rid of that and they're just putting the like perfect timing on the end of it. So the risk reward there is if you land on that perfect timing, then great, high reward. If you go past it even a smidge, then it's a red, which is really bad throw. So you're going to have to determine whether you want to, try to play it safe with your throw and just hope that you get the out, or are you going to risk it and try to make that perfect timing throw or potentially make it so that the throw goes wide? So lots of things to consider there. Um, they were talking about how that might shake things up a little bit with like online play because again, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to do that perfect timing and nail the runner, or are you going to try to throw it and hope for the best that the that your player will tag the runner out kind of a thing? There's going to be a lot of variability, I think, in this game. And a little side note here, the one thing that makes me wonder about this is this is all online stuff. It makes me wonder, the more we're throwing in like quick time type things into online matches, if the connectivity is going to mess with that and, cause players to be frustrated. But I don't know. They're trying to do better. They also talked about the robbing the home run situation. So they showed that a little bit, how the different indicators can affect the outcome of that. They showed a bit of player lock, which is they showed off a first person view. They talked a little bit about that on Tuesday as well. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't play a lot of player lock scenarios. I normally just put all my time into Diamond Dynasty. So this doesn't affect me necessarily so much, but it does make me wonder if things like this will start to play out in some of their moments. So, like when we do storylines for like last year for the Negro Leagues or Derek Jeter, whatever new ones they're going to have this year, it makes me wonder if that's going to be factored into that. Or when we do moments for Diamond Dynasty, are they going to factor it into that if there's some amazing play throughout the year? I don't know. I think sky's the limit on it. So, kind of hoping to see where that goes. Okay. One thing I liked about the player lock is also responsibilities that the players have. So I was not expecting this, and if it's already in the game, I apologize, but I've never seen this before. So they were showing how like if you're player locked as the catcher, and let's say there's a play at the plate, but you're like, you know what, it's not gonna happen, right? Where even if the outfielder throws to me and it gets to me. I'm not going to get that guy. But, there's base runners that are going around trying to bank on that throw coming into home plate so they can sneak an extra bag. So as the catcher, you can kind of command your infield, telling them where to throw the ball. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. It really adds to the realism of actually being a catcher in baseball. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see. They also showed off the new avoiding tag slide. They showed that briefly. Um, the last thing, which is the quality of life thing that I thought was really good for them to do, was some improvements to online mode. Now, when they mentioned it in the video today, they specifically said BR, so I'm assuming that's Battle Royale. My hope is that this is across all the online modes in Diamond Dynasty, but I don't know yet. And what it was is that when instead of having to warm up your pitchers, they're automatically all going to be warmed up. So I guess the community was having a problem where when Battle Royale would start up, people would immediately take 2 to 3 minutes setting up their bullpen for the next pitchers to come up, and it kind of really slowed down the game. I've experienced it. I've done it. It's just a thing that would happen during the game because you wanted to have your next pitcher lined up and ready. So I'm glad that they did that as a part of quality of life. Again, I hope that factors into the other modes as well, at least for the 3 inning games. If they want to keep that out of the 9 inning, ranked online, that's totally fine. I could see that. But as far as the 3 inning games that are quick, I think all of them should have that, but we'll see. And then last but not least, when you pause the game, there used to be, I think, 3.5 minutes that you would start out at, and then depending on how many times you pause, it would change. They're getting rid of most of the time on that. So instead of 3.5 minutes, you get 90 seconds to be in the pause menu. Too many people were pausing, letting it run for, 3 minutes and 29 seconds and then coming back into the game being ready to go, and they're just trying to trim down on that, like get rid of it. um, I can understand those that happens to. It's not always just people pausing for the heck of it. I know for me, it's been, you know, the dog has to go outside. So you pause and then you have to run to the door and open the door for your dog and then come back. And, sometimes things happen. And so it's good to have that 3.5 minutes, but at the same time, I think the majority of the time it's not actually used efficiently. So I'm happy for these changes. I'm looking forward to playing the game. A lot of the stuff is exciting, and I'm just looking forward to more of the new stuff that we are going to see for the new game. So, for you to get your new information, come back here and I will give you my thoughts on what is going on with the game based on what they're revealing as time goes on. I'm most excited about Diamond Dynasty, so we can see maybe some more legends that they've picked up along the way. We know like 3 of them right now, but I'm hoping for more. But come back here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Drops a like if you like the video, and drops a comment letting us know your thoughts on these changes. And then, as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Go Tigers.